Good morning, everyone. So today is August 14th. Today is a Wednesday, August 14th. Your midterm marks are due. What does that mean? I will tell you in a moment. Also, Unit 3 test was due yesterday. So that is done. That will be marked, and hopefully you will get your the marks for Unit 3 test either by Friday or Saturday, the latest. And then on Friday, August 16th, is your final test, you could say, in this course, because after the Unit 4 assignment, quote unquote assignment test, the quests are in the form of quizzes. So there's no real writing. It's quests are kind of like under the quizzes section. So it'll be a bit easier, like multiple choice, fill in the blank, stuff like that. So yeah, so this is the last test, and of course we have the final exam. So that's separate. The final exam is going to be there on August 22nd, 23rd. So let's get started with today's lesson. Yeah, understanding angles and special triangles. Let us do this. Let us see. How do I do this? Yesterday we did lesson 2, I think it was. Yes, lesson 2. I think we actually finished all of lesson 2, right? Let me see. So I did that. I basically did this. No, I didn't do this though. This is the only thing I didn't do. Okay, let's do this. Oh, I forgot. Before we begin, I wanted to ask everyone to do something, and that is confirm your midterm mark. So please complete the quiz confirming your midterm mark. That just means that you just go into the quizzes section and you just click on this student midterm mark confirmation summer 2024. Click on that. It's not for marks. It's just 2 questions just saying that yes, you seen your mark, and if you think that there's a mistake, then you can say that, oh, I think there's a mistake, and then you can let me know, and I'll check to see, like, okay, where do you think the mistake is? Did I make a mistake in marking, or did I not mark something, or something like that? Then you can click on that. Otherwise, if you see the mark and it's fine, then you just click yes, that's fine, and that's it. Very simple. So do that by the end of today. I'll be checking later on today or tomorrow morning, and then hopefully we're all good. So yeah, that was it. Also, I did extend last night's assignment or test for Unit 3 till 2 a.m. just for those students who always have some issues at 11:59 p.m. that they're trying to submit it at 11:59 and they're like, oh no, I can't submit it, so I extended it. Give you guys an extra 2 hours. But somehow there were students who still emailed me at then 2 a.m. I'm going to talk to those students because the submission was not at 2 a.m. It was at 11:59. If you're emailing me at after 2 a.m., that means you missed the deadline by over 2 hours. So we're gonna speak to you about that. I'm gonna email you specifically, so don't worry. But yeah, so yeah, make sure you're submitting it on time, guys. There is very clearly mark of 0 because you did not follow the rules. Okay, let's do this. So today's lesson, we will start with unit circle. What is a unit circle? So when we are graphing our angles on our Cartesian plane, our XY coordinate. Well, let me pick another color actually. Blue. All right. So we got a blue line here, and it's going around in a circle, right? So a unit circle, by definition, has a radius of 1. So that's what a unit circle means. Radius of 1. This is for a unit circle. So how does that affect our angles? Well, if it has a radius of 1, we know that the circle let's center it. It looks about the center. Let's say this is our circle, right? If it has a radius of 1, that means this point right here on the x-axis has to be what? What does this point have to be? Well, we know the y value, it has no height, so y is 0, and the x value has to be 1, so it has to be 1, 0. That's this point here. What if I rotate my arm and go up here? What does this point have to be? Well, this point has to be, my x value is 0, because it hasn't moved left or right, but it did move up, so my y value is 1, so 0, 1 has to be my point. What about this point here? Well, what does this point have to be? Well, now, y value is 0 again, but the x value, it moved left to the power by 1 unit, so that's -1, so -1, 0. And then finally, the point at the bottom here is going to be 0 for x and -1 for y. So these are my 4 points when it comes to a unit circle. And these points correspond to certain angles. So the first point corresponds to an angle of 0 degrees or 360. And you'll realize that 0 and 360 are exactly the same in terms of angles when it comes to the math. This is a 90-degree spot. This is a 180 degrees. And this is 270 degrees. So why is this useful? This is useful for when we want to determine what sine of 270 is, cos of 270, and tan of 270. Or, sine of 90, cos of 90, tan of 90. So when we were trying to figure out the prime and trig ratios for any of these 4 points, how do we figure it out? Well, if you remember that, yeah, I'll go back to the notes for a second so you can take a look. But these are the points here. I would take notes of this if you guys are taking notes. That's this part here. So sine of theta is equal to y over r. Well, we know that for a unit circle, r is 1. So sine of theta is y over 1. So sine of theta is just equal to y. What does that mean? Let's take a look at that. What's sine of 0? Let's start with 0 first. Sine of 0 is what? Well, we know the y value at sine of 0 is 0. So sine of 0 is actually 0. And you can plug that into your calculator right now. Do sine of 0 degrees, and you'll get an answer of 0. That is the right answer. What about sine of 90? Plug sine of 90 into your calculator, see what you get. And if I plug in sine of 90, I should get, what is my y value here? 1. I should get an answer of 1. What's sine of 180? Well, sine of 180, what's my y value here? It's 0. And if you plug that into your calculator, you should get 0 as well. And sine of 270 is going to be -1. And the sine of 360 is also 0. So these are your points, your key points when it comes to your sinusoidal function. And you really don't, I would say, need to memorize the unit circle, because realistically you could just plug these values into your calculator. But just so you are aware where this comes from. Because, the calculator does the math, but maybe some of you want to know, well, how did we solve it or calculate it? Where did we get it from? This is how we got it from. Cos of theta is equal to x. So same thing, cos 0 is equal to the x